Cardinals fun-sized quarterback Kyler Murray recently agreed to a contract extension for the mega millions. He signed the extension last week. It included some language, some fine print in the minutia that has just seen the light of day, an addendum that is said to require Kyler Murray to, get this, study film for 4 hours per week during the NFL season. If he does not, he will violate the compliance of the contract, the clause labeled, this is great, independent study addendum. Now, it states that the time that Murray spends in mandatory meetings studying does not count, and that Murray also will not receive credit if he does not personally study the provided material in good faith. So please be in good faith. Now, failure to do so, if he decides he does not want to spend 4 hours, imagine having to spend 4 hours a week to get a $200 million. Oh, my God. So if he does not meet the addendum's requirements, then that would mean that Murray will be deemed in default of his contract, which, the way I read it, means they can terminate the contract and get out of it if he does not meet the 4 hours a week of watching tape on his own time. So let us discuss the question, would this clause in the Kyler Murray contract be considered a referendum on the pint-sized quarterback? So I am nodding my head yes on this. I've got pilot, Stables, and Emmy nominated. And we're going to tie all of these things together, and we're going to see what we can make. I think we're going to make a cactus. And because this contract is like a cactus, it's got a lot of spikes on it. It's got a lot of spikes on it. So, Kyler Murray, as we had said last week, did not deserve this contract. And this is what's known as validation. By putting this in the contract, the Cardinals have announced, you know what, Maller, you're right. We don't really want to give this contract out to Kyler Murray. As we said, the Cardinals have low self-esteem. Can you imagine having to put a clause like this in an agreement to pay an athlete $230 million, a franchise quarterback? It is equal parts hilarious and horrendous at the same time. But I let out a hearty guffaw when I heard about this. Our buddy, Alligator Arms Murray, it turns out he does not like the meat and potatoes of football, the tedious, monotonous work, things that help you improve. It's like a talk show host who doesn't like preparing for a show and just shows up. Now, I've worked with people, I've known people in the business that do that, but guess what? Eventually, they get exposed, and it's glorious, and it's a wonderful thing, and it's going to happen to the little quarterback as well. It will happen to him, I promise you. But when it comes to the basics of the job, Murray, it would appear, based on the contract, this is not my opinion, it's in writing, is apathetic. He does shoddy work. The team knows he does not put the work in. Why would you pay a player like that? It makes no sense. If Murray were a pilot, he would be autopilot. The Cardinals have such doubts that they needed to make this contractually binding. Holy cannoli, is this emasculating? Oh, my God, it's so embarrassing. It is so embarrassing for this quarterback. Oh, my God. All right, now, part B of this, you're going to buy or sell the insider reports, because when this story got out, the insiders circled the wagons, and they said, listen, Kyler does 4 hours of studying on his own anyway. No need to put this in the contract. Now, obviously, we are selling, and you should be too. The only ones that would be buying that reporting are known as hayseeds and rubes and easy marks. Those are the people that would buy that. So where did it come from? Well, more likely than not, Kyler Murray's agent, realizing how bad this looks, deputized some useful idiots in the NFL media who, of course, whatever they are told, they repeat verbatim. And then they pass the narrative on to the meathead fans. And it's clear that these mouthpieces have no problem regurgitating this nonsense. They were probably laughing as they were sending out the posts on social media saying, well, this is a lie, but hey, maybe I'll get some scoop from the agent next time. Now, the rap sheet, who works for state-sponsored Pravda NFL News, was leading the charge for the Kyler Murray representation, attempting some old-fashioned damage control, or a little reputation management. Now, this is normal behavior for a team to put a clause requiring a player to study film, unless it's not. Okay, unless it's not. If Alligator Arms was doing this on his own routinely and consistently, spending 4+ hours watching film, I will guarantee you the Arizona Cardinals would not have instilled this clause in the contract. Now, it's believed that this is not just a rare situation. It's more than that, right? And that's been the argument. Well, this is standard operating procedure. The fanboys and the fangirls, the blind sheep who like Kyler Murray, these idiots, these dum-dums, they're like, well, no, it's standard across the NFL. No, it's not. You moron. Why don't you tell me you're stupid without telling me you're stupid? That clause is believed to be unprecedented, all right? Unprecedented, meaning that there never before has been a quarterback who has had this type of clause, the same thing that Kyler Murray's got. No one else has ever had it in the history of pro football. Think about that. Oh, my. And they gave him the contract. What were they thinking? What were they doing? Man. All right, so now this is a dead giveaway that Kyler Murray takes the, shall we say, short road when it comes to game prep. And the evidence on this is not only the contract. Why don't we go to the stables? That's where my evidence is. The horse's mouth. It's a little horse. It's a miniature horse. There was a profile puff piece written in the Gray Lady that spelled everything out. A 2021 New York Times interview. Kyler Murray said, essentially, that watching film is not a priority in his life. Quote, I think I was blessed with the cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. Murray opined. He went on to say, I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there and kill myself watching film. I don't sit there for 24 hours to break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head I see so much. Close quote. So there you have it, the smoking gun. Kyler, in his own words, clearly implying that he would rather sit in detention than study film. He believes it is below him. As you heard there, Murray essentially said that he's God's gift to the quarterback position. He has the vision of a hawk. He sees everything. He knows everything. Therefore, since he's omnipresent, he does not have to do the busybody work of studying the opposition like everyone else does. He's better than everyone else. And this helps explain why he has fallen apart year after year in the NFL and continues to be an atrocious second-half player and had one of the single worst playoff games in the history of pro football against the Super Bowl champion, the reigning Super Bowl champion, LA Rams, when Kyler Murray took a ride on the Vomit Comet, and it was glorious to see. All right, now the last word here. So who leaked this part of Kyler Murray's contract? Somebody sent it out into the ethos, and who was it? I'm glad you asked. So let's play the parlor game of uncovering sources. After a minute-long investigation in which we asked two questions to determine the source. Who stands to gain from the leak and why leak now? And we quickly determined in this minute-long investigation that the Cardinals are the party that leaked this story. Because who stands to gain from it? Certainly not Kyler Murray. It's the Arizona Cardinals. It shows there are people in the hierarchy of the organization who believe this is a ridiculous contract, that what are they doing? This guy doesn't love football. He doesn't put the work in. and that the Cardinals got the short end of the stick. And so they've decided to publicly pants Kyler Murray. They're little pants, but they wanted to pants him anyway. So they weaponized this clause. They put it out there. Now, why leak it now? Well, they're hoping that this will work like that Emmy-nominated TV series Beyond Scared Straight. Hoping that Kyler Murray will stop these bad habits and change his ways and no more cutting corners. Of course, our position on that is fat chance. You are set in your ways by this point. You have muscle memory, and your muscle memory is to not watch game film on your own time. So the Cardinals have let Kyler Murray cut corners, and they rewarded him for that lethargic work ethic, and now he's getting paid. Good luck. Good luck. This is going to end wonderfully. What could possibly go wrong in this situation? It's just great. Well, there you go. So another take validated by the Arizona Cardinals. What a bunch of morons. Oh, my God. How embarrassing for Kyler. And the fans of this player, that this guy, your guy you like, the guy that you worship, your false god, your deity, your little Buddha, doesn't work hard. He doesn't watch the tape. So he's not a leader. These are the things we learned about Kyler Murray. He's not a leader. Teammates don't really like him. Remember him sulking on the sidelines in the playoff game. And his body falls apart as the season goes on, as scouts predicted before the draft years ago. And now we've learned that, and it's confirmed in the contract, that the team that employs Kyler Murray believes he's lazy and doesn't put the work in. That's the guy you gave a $230 million contract. You can't make this stuff up.